Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Saturday HOA Brunch, presented by Angius&Terry, LLP. Please sit back, relax, and join Brad Epstein and Jonathan Broderick for an hour of entertaining information about HOAs and HOA law.
Good morning. Welcome to the Saturday HOA Brunch. And we're going to have a great show today, right, Jonathan?
Absolutely. The show that only talks about community associations, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Community association law, community association news. And so what we're going to talk about today is security.
Hot issue.
Hot issue. We're going to tell you the law, and we're going to tell you about a new bill that they're proposing as well. We're going to give you all the information that you need to know because we have in our studio John Timberlake with Securitas. Welcome, John.
Thank you.
Big company, right? Securitas?
350,000 employees. 350,000 employees. Can you imagine our law firm? What is it? We have about 50 employees.
I thought it was more like 65.
I haven't counted lately.
All right.
Nevertheless, 65 employees is a lot different than 350,000. Now, Securitas has been around a long time. They have provided services to a lot of our associations. They have a great name. But, John, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm local here from Sacramento. I've been in the security business all my adult life. I started out in the Marine Corps doing security.
Oh, really? Marine Corps. How long were you in?
I did 4 years. I was an embassy guard, dress blues, standing attention.
Where?
What embassy?
What
Tokyo.
country? Tokyo.
Yeah.
Tokyo.
Well, we have our production engineer, Frank Jolly. I believe he was a, Vietnam vet, Marine Corps?
Oh, don't get him started.
I know. He's back there right now.
Stories.
He's saluting us as we speak. So, John, go ahead. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about your history? You've got into the security industry. You work for Securitas, a reputable company, international company. Tell us a little bit about Securitas.
So, yeah, we do all types of businesses. We do HOAs, obviously. We do healthcare facilities. We do city government. We're basically everywhere.
You are, yeah. If you go on your webpage, it is fascinating. So you do all kinds, any scale of security for mom and pop stores, all the way up to big corporations, corporate investigations. Really interesting. You could really learn a lot about your company, and it is international. You have three major divisions. It's America, Africa, and Europe. Is that it?
Right, that's correct.
Wow. Okay, so there's a huge demand, obviously, right now with, the world's a crazy place. So
yeah,
have you seen a trend in recent years? The demand for security is
absolutely
consistent.
Yeah, since 9/11, it's really boomed. But what typically happens in our business is when the economy's really bad, our business is thriving, and when the economy is really good, our business slows down a little bit.
That's a head scratcher.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I see the correlation.
Well, I think what it is crime goes up when the economy is bad because there's a demand, right? The criminals are out there and they're trying to make a living doing things they shouldn't do.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is.
Nail on the head. You have some background in this, don't you, Mr.
Yeah,
Brock?
I do. I have Google. Right.
No, you have education in
No. I took a couple of junior college classes, and that's about it. But I've heard that. I've heard that the crime rate rises when the economy is in the dumps.
Yes, it sure does.
So if the government could just please let the economy we want to be prosperous, yes, and then the crime rate will go down.
The word of the day is prosperous.
Prosperous. Right. Okay, so Securitas, international company, how many employees? 300 and how many thousand?
350,000.
Right.
How long have you been with Securitas?
I worked for Securitas for 8 years, and then I left and started my own security business, and I did that for 10, and then I sold it off, and then I went back to Securitas, and I've been here about a year and a half now.
With good companies, they always come back.
Yeah.
Why did you come back?
I just really like the organization. I like the mission. I like the people. I like the environment, and we're doing a lot of good things.
You are absolutely have a really great name in the community association industry. You said you like the mission. What is the mission?
It's to protect communities, homes, and people. It's really, they're really focused on taking care of the customer and
real customer service oriented.
Very customer service
that's
oriented.
what I've seen.
What kind of different? what kind of different services do you guys provide? I mean, obviously you have the guy in the white shirt and the slacks that,
Sure.
carries a can of mace. And then do you also have the guy that walks around with the heater, right, connected to his hip, ready to go just in case there's a situation right now that like an active shooter,
right?
Got that 9mm ready to go.
You're talking gun, huh? For me, I don't, you say heater. I'm not sure the slang, this term.
Well, what's happening now with we're really integrating technology more than manpower in a lot of cases nowadays. The cost of manpower keeps going up. Cost of technology keeps coming down. So what we've really gotten into recently is trying to integrate systems with manpower.
Excellent. So give me an example where of some recent technology where it saved you manpower. So is it cameras or is it communication?
Cameras are working. We to give you an example, we have a remote monitoring center in North Carolina. So we can install cameras in a community and then have them monitored from an outside dispatch location.
Okay.
And that eliminates the need to have a guard on site in a lot of cases. They can do, remote entry. They can, unlock doors with an access control system remotely.
Okay. Now are you actually saying that for instance, in Roseville, California, right near Sacramento,
right,
you'd have a camera there and it would communicate to North Carolina?
Right. Yeah.
Well, pretty fascinating. I mean, now there's a lot of business owners, right? They own a business. They get on their iPhone. They open up the app, and they can watch their employees work. They can see everything that's going on. I mean, it's amazing.
Or like our radio show, what listeners can do is they can go ahead and turn on their cell phone, and they could listen to us. They could just hit play at 1380. If you want to join our conversation, it's 888-923-1380. If you want to text us, you can't text today, so just call in, 888-923-1380. That's a good question. Why can't they text today? I would like to tell you the answer, but I'd really be embarrassed to say.
It's on the kitchen counter.
It's on the kitchen counter.
Wow. And guess what? The phone lines are already starting to light up.
Well, excellent, because today we are doing Battle of the Board Members.
It's back, right?
All right, Battle of the Board Members. So this is our game show we have. And we, John Timberlake with Securitas, and we did it all last year. And this is where we have two board members, and they battle with a quiz at the end of the show.
Oh, nice.
So they need to listen to you, John Timberlake with Securitas, very carefully. Jonathan, do you want to go ahead and say hi to our first I think it's a contestant, isn't it? No?
It is a contestant.
Okay.
That's what Frank's yelling at us. We got a player. She called
fantastic.
in. Okay, so let's go to the phone line real quick. Denise, can you hear us?
Hi. Yes.
Well, how are you doing this morning?
Awesome. How are you?
I don't know if I'm awesome, but I'm hanging in there.
Those who play, if you play hard, then you pay hard. That's my motto.
Well, that's true.
Denise,
Absolutely.
Yeah, Denise, you sound so bright and cheery this morning. We're so glad you're here today. We want to talk more with you. You stay on. We're going to have a break right now. And so, listeners, don't go away. We're going to have Battle of Board members. We have John Timberlake with Securitas. We're going to give you some great law about security.
Hot issue.
Hot issue. Hot issues. Don't go away.
Stay with us.
If your community association has a good relationship with their current management company, you can stop listening. However, if you are struggling with your current service provider, we'd love to talk with you to see if Omni Community Management would be a good fit. Transparency, education, communication, and trust are just 4 of the qualities that set Omni apart. This is Rolf Crocker, CEO of Omni. Call us at 916-965-8964. That's 916-965-8964. Online at omni-mgt.com. That's omni-mgt.com. Omni Community Management, your friend in the community association management industry for over 20 years.
Have you ever heard of the saying, a person's home is their castle? Of course you have. But sometimes a construction defect can turn your castle into a catastrophe. If this happens to you, you need proper and professional representation. You need Angius&Terry, LLP. For over 30 years, the attorneys at Angius&Terry have been effectively serving homeowners and community associations, recovering more than $500 million on behalf of their clients. Angius&Terry strives to ensure that your construction defect claims are prosecuted in an aggressive and cost-effective manner. Angius&Terry will also continue to work with homeowners and community associations after the construction defect claims are concluded to make sure that the money received from builders is spent wisely and that your interests are protected during the repair process. Don't let a construction defect turn your castle into a catastrophe. Call Angius&Terry LLP today at 916-567-1400. That's 916-567-1400. Online at angius-terry.com. Angius&Terry LLP. Professional Parking Enforcement, or PPE, was created to provide effective parking solutions for all types of parking issues. PPE focuses on parking problems of HOAs and can quickly eliminate these problems through their system of property inspection, violation updating, ticketing, and enforcement. Contact PPE today at 702-283-0628, online at ppenv.com. PPE, promoting harmony in HOAs through parking and compliance enforcement. We take time to understand your community's needs.
Silver Creek Association Management.
We solve small problems before they become big ones.
Silver Creek Association Management.
We help make your community a better place to live.
Silver Creek Association Management.
It's what we do, because an association is more than just a bunch of homes. It's a community of people. We work with you to make better communities so homeowners can enjoy better lives.
Silver Creek Association Management. Online at sc-manage.com. That's sc-manage.com.
AM 1380, The Answer.
You're listening to the Saturday HOA Brunch presented by Angius&Terry LLP. And now your hosts, Brad Epstein and Jonathan Broderick on AM 1380, The Answer.
Rockin' and rollin', back for the second segment of our show, and we're very excited because we were able to corral John Timberlake from Securitas. Hot issue, security. Summer's coming.
Exactly.
People leave their screen doors, right? Their sliding glass doors, their windows. Homes are accessible.
Right. Non-residents start using the swimming pools at the associations.
Jumping fences. Do not make yourself a victim, right, John? Would you say that there's a lot of preventative maintenance that you can do as a homeowner in a homeowner association to prevent yourself from being a victim of a burglary or
Yeah,
something
definitely.
of that sort?
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you would say real quick, and then we're going to go to our callers real quick? What are some of the things that you can do to prevent yourself from being a victim?
Well, the one thing nobody really thinks about much is get to know your neighbors. If you know your neighbors, then you know when somebody's in the community that doesn't belong there. It's more obvious.
Exactly. And I just want to give a shout out real quick because we had two experts in the industry last week talking and calling into our show, Larry Pottist and Julie Adaman, and they're really big on building a sense of community. Communicate with your neighbors, get to know everyone, and that's going to help prevent anybody in the community that's...
Well, you'll know when something's out of place. You'll
Out of
know
place.
This guy is not somebody I normally see here. He's not somebody I normally talk to. So, you look out, you're more aware. It's just about being aware, really.
Awesome. Okay, so real quick, let's check in with our contestants, right? Because we've brought Battle of the Board Members back, the spring edition of Battle of the Board Members.
That's right. So we talked with Denise a little bit, and Denise will get back to you in a second. Debbie, welcome to the show. Can you hear us okay?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, wow, you sound very awake today as well. Debbie, where are you calling from?
Woodland, California.
Woodland, California.
One of Frank's favorite cities.
One of America's favorite cities. And how long have you been on the board?
I've been on the board for about 11 years.
11 years is a long time, so you must just love being a board member. What I want to ask you next is, what about being a board member is so great? What do you like about being a board member? Is it because you can contribute? Is it the great pay? What is the top couple things that you love about being a board member for a community association?
Well, since our board members are all voluntary, that's no pay involved in that. But it's really nice to have an idea of what's going on in the community, so I can talk to my neighbors when they have a problem, if there's something that that they need to bring up. I can tell them, when we're having a meeting, if they want to come, or they can just submit a letter and then I'll read it at the meeting. And, I like to be able to, it's a great way to know your neighbors. Otherwise, it's kind of, we have separated units, so it's kind of hard to get to know some of the ones not in your unit.
Fantastic. And so that dovetails right with our subject today, getting to know your neighbors and getting that sense of community, like we talked with last week with Larry Pottis and Julie Adam. And so the sense of community dovetails with security. Know who's in your community so you know when someone doesn't appear to be there. So great. So Debbie, what I want you to do is listen carefully, because at the end of the show, we're going to have the Battle of the Board members. And so listen to what John Timberlake with Securitas talks about. And now we want to go back to Denise.
Right, Denise. So you're still with us, right?
Yeah.
All right, wake up Saturday morning, the HOA brunch. So I just want to ask you a quick question, Denise. How long have you been a board member?
1 year.
And where are you calling from?
Courtside Manor.
Oh, okay, excellent. And my next question is, I just want to see, what do you guys have in your reserve study a line item for security? Do you need security in your community association?
Yes, we do. We've had security for actually 15 years.
Really?
Yes.
And what type of security is that?
Well, parking and security, he monitors outside.
So it's like a 24-hour patrol that comes through the community and checks on you guys on a regular basis?
It was 4-hour security.
Okay.
Got it. Okay. Well, great. So, Denise, listen carefully. At the end of the show, we're going to put you on the spot with Battle of the Board members. It's going to be true, false questions. And the winner is going to get $100 gift card. Second place winner will get a $50 gift card. Yay!
Of their choice.
All right. Let me say a little bit of law, and then we're going to go back to you, John, and I'm going to want to know what sets your company apart from other companies. But before we get there, let me just set forth the law. And really, the big case, you guys.
Is this in the Davis-Sterling Act?
This case is a Supreme Court, California Supreme Court case. It's called the Francis T. case. Francis T. case. Why don't they say the full name of the plaintiff in the case? It's because they protected her. They're protecting her identity because it was a pretty nasty case. This owner got assaulted and burglarized at her home. And
no kidding.
Yeah, so this is about 18 years ago, but there's not many community association court cases that are what we call published. These are published court cases, and they could be Court of Appeals. There's the California Supreme Court, and they set precedent. So we can, when I go into court on behalf of a community association, I could point to this case and I can say, in particular, this case, the court held that associations have a duty to take reasonable steps to protect the residents against, this is the key, Jonathan, foreseeable criminal harm. Foreseeable. So I always have a zinger for Jonathan. He just loves this. Yep. And he's just look at the look on his face.
Come on, all right, throw it out there. What do you got?
Yeah. So this word foreseeable. What does that mean?
Foreseeable. It's maybe the same as a prediction, right, or a hypothesis.
Well, John is nodding his head in approval, and I think that's it.
I paid him, of course, to be on my side today.
Foreseeable, yeah, it is. You know it's going to occur. You have a reasonable expectation that it will occur.
Did you get that definition off of Wikipedia, or where?
You know what?
Is it a legal term, foreseeable?
Exactly. So this is a quote from the case here, and it's important to quote the California Supreme Court.
Real quick, though,
right?
if you want to look up published cases, where would you go
to
look for
easy
examples?
Nowadays.
It's with the internet, right?
Great question, Jonathan. For me, I like that. You know,
little zinger back at you.
All you have to do is put in any of these court case names nowadays. Right in Google or whatever search
Yahoo.
engine you're using.
Let's not exclude anyone.
It's really interesting. And you just put in the court name. Hey, I heard of that case, Francis T. or Narstead or Lambden, all these famous cases.
All right. Well, what if you wanted to look for a case with a scenario, but you didn't know the name of the case? So you just wanted to see if there was a published case. For example, you're going to explain what the Francis T. What was the
The
name
whole
of the
thing? Yeah, Francis
the whole
T.
case, right?
Right.
So what if you were looking for the content of
or,
a case?
or if you knew what the case was about. Hey, this case is about an association where the court said association for all practicable purposes is the project's landlord. That's what the California Supreme Court said, that the association is, for all practicable purposes, a project's landlord. So you said, well, maybe there's a court case about a landlord and association in California. You put in the search terms, you're going to come up with that
and
case.
Just say court
It's
case,
amazing.
landlord, California Homeowners Association.
Yeah, now we use...
Bam, you'll find it.
Yeah, since we have a fiduciary duty to our clients to know all the court cases and to know whether they're still good law and to know all the statutes and all the regulations, we have a particular website that we use that costs a lot of money. We have a subscription, and the two main ones are Lexus and Westlaw.
Is that LexisNexis?
LexisNexis, not the car, and Westlaw. And these are the search companies for all the court cases, the statutes, and all the laws. And we use those. It costs a lot of money. You don't have to do that when you're not an attorney with a fiduciary duty, although board members do have a fiduciary duty for the associations. Okay, so Francis T.
Yeah, tell us about this case.
All right. So in this case, it was where an owner went to their condominium association board of directors and said, God, look at all the crime around here. This is terrible. I want to put a light outside my condominium unit. I just want to put a light outside my condominium unit. The board of directors said, no, it doesn't match. It doesn't match the aesthetics of our community. Lo and behold, soon thereafter, this homeowner made this request to the board of directors to have that light installed. She got assaulted and burglarized in her home. Terrible story. Terrible story. Really? So, of course, she sued the board of directors for not allowing her to put that light outside her unit. And the court case went to the Superior Court, the trial court. It was appealed up to the Court of Appeals. From there, it was appealed up to the Supreme Court. A lot of money. A lot of money to get all the way up to the Supreme Court.
Well, I mean, to me, it sounds like maybe she needed to get a shotgun. Is a light really going to help prevent a burglary? What do you think, John?
What do you think about that security measure? Look at the look on John's face.
Well, I know, but
you
I mean,
got to be kidding
it's just a floodlight, right, out in front of the garage
but
or
a
something.
Shotgun?
Well, maybe.
A shotgun.
Why not? Right to bear arms. What do you think, John?
Should she have a shotgun in her front yard?
Is that your question?
Well, I mean, she could have one under the bed or something, but I mean, so what? Go ahead. We've got 1 minute before we go to break. What the court said?
The court said, look, the association, for all practical purposes, is a project's landlord, and so there's a duty that's imposed on associations to exercise due care for the safety of the residents. Wow, this is a different standard at the time. It was a big deal. And so they said that the association owed the plaintiff, the owner, a duty to protect her from the foreseeable criminal acts of others. Big deal case, Francis T. case.
So the association and the court now have to provide her with light bulbs for the rest of her life, for the floodlight that is now installed outside of her unit.
And where are you getting that information?
Well, no, what I'm saying, though, is like, so what?
All right, so
what happened?
What do we take away from that?
Well,
you're going to have to come back and find out.
Wait. Yeah, stay with us. John Timberlake, Securitas, the legend on the sticks, Frank Jolly, Counselor Brad Epstein. We'll be back.
Having trouble understanding your community association's reserve study? Does your HOA's reserve study seem to be written in a strange language? Hi, I'm Robert Browning, owner of the Browning Reserve Group. At the Browning Reserve Group, we have been providing easy-to-understand reserve studies since 1999. We actually listen to our communities and help them plan for the future. Find us online at browningrg.com. That's browningrg.com, or toll free at 877-708-0600. That's 877-708-0600. Clarity from complexity. The Browning Reserve Group.
If you are a community association or manager, you know your banking relationship is vital to your success. At Sacramento Bank of Commerce, a division of Redding Bank of Commerce, our industry expertise and personal attention make that task a breeze. With our specialized banking, lockbox, online banking, and remote deposit capture, trips to the bank are no longer necessary. And Sacramento Bank of Commerce can help your communities with a loan to repair, replace, or upgrade the investment. For local decisions and in-house processing, get in touch with our team today. Call Sacramento Bank of Commerce at 916-772-0131. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Did you see the story about the Homeowners Association? I wonder what their residents think.
I don't know, but I love my condominium association. The place looks great and is well managed, and our property values are increasing.
Well, that's a good thing.
Community Associations Institute, CAI, has helped us build a great community. They have tools for safeguarding our investment, including education for our board and professional training for our manager. Just visit CAI at responsiblecommunities.com.
Okay, responsiblecommunities.com.
Don't let April be the most taxing month of the year. It's also the time of the year when the skies are blue, flowers are blooming, and it's just a wonderful time to enjoy just getting outside to really enjoy the beautiful weather. Hi, it's Ed Crane to tell you RC Country has an amazing selection of fun-loving RC models and accessories to help you enjoy the great outdoors, like the incredible Vatera Ascender for rock climbing action as real as it gets, or make waves with a Pro Boat Recoil Deep 5 brushless boat with a revolutionary new hull. Check out the Inductrix Microdrone with safe technology. You'll be flying like a pro quickly. And if you're into helicopters, wait till you get your hands on an MCX. For yourself, for your family, get into RC Country Hobby soon. What's really neat is the personal service you'll find from the RC Country Hobby Pros, service you will not find at those big box stores. For toys for big boys, visit RC Country Hobbies, 6011 Folsom Boulevard, Sacramento, or online at rccountryhobbies.com. Take some time out. Have fun at RC Country.
This is AM 1380. The Answer.
You're listening to the Saturday HOA Brunch presented by Angius&Terry, LLP. And now your hosts, Brad Epstein and Jonathan Broderick on AM 1380, The Answer.
Welcome back, and we want to say hi to Denise and Debbie again. Denise, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. So what were we going to talk about when we got back from the break? Do you remember?
Yes, security and lighting.
Security and lighting.
There you go. And Francis T.
Excellent, Francis T.
And knowing your neighbor.
And knowing your neighbor. And Debbie, how are you? You're still doing good? You're still hanging in there with us?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay, fantastic.
I want to ask you real quick, Debbie, because security is a hot issue. In your association, what kind of measures do the board of directors take to, I mean, obviously your fiduciary duty is to protect and enhance the asset, which is the association, but do you guys take any additional steps to maximize security and make the homeowners feel safe? Is there anything that you guys need to do out in Woodland?
Well, we have pretty good lighting throughout our community, but we've encouraged some homeowners that are not near a light to install their own lights. And some people have the motion-activated lights, which is pretty nice at night. So, except when it's windy and you have a big bush right near the light.
Yeah, right. They could be effective, but
off.
they could be effective, but they go off sometimes without someone there.
Now, when we were having our little powwow during the break, you asked John a question. You said, "Guess what, John? You're up." You remember the question, John?
Well, we were talking about how do communities foresee incidents like this.
Predict, right? Prepare for the
being proactive,
unpredictable,
right? Instead of reactive, be proactive. And what are some of the tools that associations can use with Securitas?
Yeah, so I mean, you can call. The best thing you can do is reach out to, as a free resource, if you can call guys like me who want your business, and we'll come out and do a security survey and tell you, what your threats are, what your vulnerabilities are, where you need to really, focus your attention. And you can also reach out to local police departments because they have police officers who will come out and do those sorts of things for you too.
So utilize the local municipalities because they have the analytics, they have the statistics, they keep the records on file so that you can look at maybe some different tendencies and types of crimes that are committed in certain areas, whether it's assault, whether it's burglaries, whether it's car theft, and things of that nature. Now, is it easy for Securitas to have a relationship in a certain city or state with the different local law enforcement agencies, or is it kind of a hurdle, or is it a relationship you have to work on, or are they pretty easy to work with?
It really depends on what market you're in. Some are better than others, but it's a work in progress. You're constantly working to establish those relationships. And, we do a lot of work with, the city of Sacramento, we have, over 100 employees working in their buildings and that sort of thing. So we have, we have a great relationship with them because we work with them every day, in and out. So
okay, so you're going to build the relationship with the client, and you're going to come out and you're going to do a consultation for the association. What types of information, or what type of information can you provide for the association to, kind of build that trust and give them a sense of safety that your services from Securitas are going to provide for the client?
Yeah, so what we usually do, we call it an operational analysis, but we come out and we ask a series of questions. We walk the property. We look at the physical security of the property. Should bushes be cut down in certain areas? Is there poor lighting in certain areas? Can you paint a wall a lighter color so it's better visibility at night? Things like that. And then we look at their security plan. Are you throwing money away, putting security measures together in response to an incident that happened, say, 15 years ago? Or are you putting something in place that really proactively prepares you for an incident that might occur, 2 months from now?
Yeah, and utilizing the new technology that's available in the communities, because now with cameras and smartphones and all of those things, there's probably it's less physical, right, on the association. And do you guys promote the board of directors having possibly a committee for like a community watch program or something of that nature? Or
yeah, I think so. The thing with community watches is it's usually the same people every month that are coming to these meetings and are involved, and sometimes they can get a little how do you say it, a little too
overbearing.
Aggressive. Yeah. So there's you have to be careful of that, but yeah, I mean it's good for everybody to be proactive and thinking about security and their awareness, for sure.
Well, thanks, John. And now for the law. And so the takeaway from Francis T. is that associations, Jonathan, must actually allow owners to install reasonable security devices, storm doors, lighting, but associations are not required to allow owners to install any devices that the owner wants. So you guys, an owner, just because they come to the association and say, I want to install cameras around my front door, association can say, no, we're not going to allow you to do anything you want, but reasonable security devices. And associations, sometimes they'll have, we talked about this too, John, that associations, they have signs, dummy cameras. Not a good idea. Don't have signs that state that the association has cameras if they don't actually have the cameras.
I could see that,
Associations could be liable for, you can see, I do see that.
Well, no,
I see it all the time.
I could see an association, a board of directors saying, no, we're not going to let you mount 15 cameras around your townhome, because when we're trying to have a new neighbor move into the unit next door, we don't want them to come in, do a walkthrough, go outside, talk to the realtor, and look up and go, why do you have 15 cameras next door? Is this community a victim of crime?
And associations, when they have contracts with the security companies, they should make sure that contract includes insurance, indemnity, arbitration, attorney's fees are things to look at, but specifically the insurance, the security company must have insurance and they must indemnify the association, not the other way around.
Makes sense. We're going to go to break. When we come back, I think we're just getting to the point where it's time to have the spring edition of Battle of the Board Members. We'll be back.
Hi, I'm Morgan Fussell. My company, Broadband Agreements, negotiates cable television and broadband right of entry, access, and compensation agreements for your communities. At Broadband Agreements, we offer a free review of all agreements with a signed letter of authorization. Broadband Agreements will improve your community's income and or savings, or you don't pay us a dime. Visit us at broadbandagreements.com. That's broadbandagreements.com. Or call me, Morgan Fussell, directly at 916-939-5026. That's 916-939-5026. Broadband Agreements online at broadbandagreements.com or 916-939-5026.
The challenges presented by today's economy and rebounding housing market is forcing many homeowners association boards of directors to operate their HOAs more like a business. It's a balancing act of trying to stay solvent and still provide homeowners with quality amenities and services. One of the main challenges HOA boards are facing is attempting to recover unpaid HOA fees owed by delinquent homeowners. Collection efforts are often very time-consuming. If you want to get the HOA fees collection monkey off of your back, call ATC Assessment Collection Group. ATC is an attorney-supervised collection company, providing collection and foreclosure services to HOAs in both California and Nevada's most recognizable communities. Get back to what you actually volunteered to do as an HOA board member. Effectively oversee your community. Call ATC today at 916-641-1410. That's 916-641-1410. Online at atcacg.com. That's atcacg.com. ATC Assessment Collection Group. Professional Parking Enforcement, or PPE, was created to provide effective parking solutions for all types of parking issues. PPE focuses on parking problems of HOAs and can quickly eliminate these problems through their system of property inspection, violation updating, ticketing, and enforcement. Contact PPE today at 702-283-0628, online at ppenv.com. PPE, promoting harmony in HOAs through parking and compliance enforcement. We take time to understand your community's needs.
Silver Creek Association Management.
We solve small problems before they become big ones.
Silver Creek Association Management.
We help make your community a better place to live.
Silver Creek Association Management.
It's what we do, because an association is more than just a bunch of homes. It's a community of people. We work with you to make better communities so homeowners can enjoy better lives.
Silver Creek Association Management. Online at sc-manage.com. That's sc-manage.com.
This is AM 1380, The Answer.
You're listening to the Saturday HOA Brunch presented by Angius&Terry, LLP. And now your hosts, Brad Epstein and Jonathan Broderick on AM 1380, The Answer.
Welcome back. Beautiful Saturday morning in Sacramento. Yesterday, you had to take the umbrella with you to work. It's kind of crazy, right? The weather's just
It's okay. We'll take the rain.
We'll
Yeah,
take
so
the
we're
rain.
here with John Timberlake with Securitas. You guys, I'm going to cover a couple more aspects of the law, and then we're going to head right into Battle of the Board members with Debbie and Denise. Looking forward to that.
You got 1 minute.
All right, so a couple things are, when it comes to gated communities, it's really a rule of smartness not to advertise your gated community as having the gates for security. Call them for privacy gates. And we could debate this forever, but that's the general
Rule of thumb. Call it a privacy gate.
And associations, they are not required to allow owners to install any kind of security devices they want. And you talked about the issue with a whole bunch of cameras near their front door.
Don't scare everyone away from your community.
Right. And so there's this whole misrepresentation issue of associations that they do have a duty to make reasonable steps to have a crime-free development. However, they shouldn't make promises about being a security association unless they're really going to stand behind that. And disclaimers are good, where associations can say, look, we're going to do our best, basically, but you have, as owners, you have a duty yourself to take steps so you don't are subject to a criminal act. Now, the difference, though, is, last thing, board of directors, they have a fiduciary duty to the association. Owners do not. So they don't have that heightened duty to the association. With that, Jonathan, take it away.
Also, I want to throw one little thing out there real quick. I highly recommend that the board of directors does not start a militia committee. Don't you think that's good advice? You can't have a militia for your community association? Or no comment?
Great comment, Jonathan.
There you go. All right. Well, we're going to, do the old in-studio coin flip. So, Denise, why don't you go ahead and call it in the air? Heads or tails?
Heads.
Ready? All right. It's tails.
It's tails. So Debbie goes first.
Debbie goes first.
All right. So, you guys, it's going to be 3 rounds of 2 questions each. We're going to go back and forth. So it's not head-to-head battle for each question. It's going to be 2 questions first to who won?
Debbie.
To Debbie. So Debbie's going to go first. Jonathan's going to ask you 2 questions, Debbie, and then it's going to come over to me, and I'm going to ask Denise 2 questions. And it's true, false. There is one exception to the true, false. There will be one fill in the blank question, but you'll be able to see it. So 2 questions each, 3 rounds. Threw that in, Jonathan. You're
like all major sports leagues, we're kind of reshaping the game.
Absolutely.
Like it. All right. So, Debbie, are you ready for your first question?
I think so.
All right. Associations must allow owners to install reasonable security devices.
Well, it's not a must. They can request it.
Okay, so what's your answer?
True or false?
So I'd say false.
I don't think so. I think the answer is true. They must allow owners, and the tricky part of that one is it's reasonable. That's right. So they must allow reasonable, not any, but reasonable. All right. So 0 for 1, but you're going to get back in there.
All right. Next question, Debbie. Gated associations should not advertise that their gates are for security.
True.
Exactly.
Got it. Nailed it. All right. Denise is up.
Denise. Okay. Are you ready, Denise?
I'm ready.
You ready? I can hear you. And so, question number 1, true or false? Associations should not have signs that state they have cameras if they do not actually have cameras.
True.
Exactly. Number 2, associations should not encourage owners to take security measures. Let me say that again. Associations should not encourage owners to take security measures. True or false?
False.
Exactly. All right. Heading into round 2.
Yeah, 2-1, still a tight battle. So there's, the odds right now, if you want to call into Vegas, they're up in the air. All right. Debbie, are you ready for your second round? 2 questions. Yeah. All right. Contracts with insurance companies should provide that the company indemnifies the association for liability claims.
True.
Nailed it. All right, second question. Associations must allow owners to install lighting in the common area.
Say the question again.
Yeah. We'll
she said false. She was right.
Yeah,
nailed
it.
She got it.
Right.
Excellent.
Associations
must always. Let me say that one again. So associations must always allow owners to install lighting in the common area. And so this is when she was talking about this in the first question, and this is basically what she was saying. It's not a must always. All right.
3-2.
Denise,
takes the
second
lead.
round. First question. Associations are required to allow owners to install any device that the owner wants. Any security device, right. Number 2, if an association states that they provide security, then they can be liable for failing to provide sufficient security.
True.
Excellent.
Well,
I
4-3.
I think that Denise is perfect so far.
Well, are you ready for the third round? This is the fill in the blank, the revision to the game. That's what I have. The first
question 2.
For question 2 is going to be a fill in the blank. All right. So, Debbie, let's nail this. Keep the game close. First question is a true or false answer. Owners have a fiduciary responsibility to take measures to not attract crime.
Correct. Because owners don't have a fiduciary duty. Boards do.
All right. Here's the fill in the blank question, Debbie. The name of our guest is?
Oh, John.
There you go. That's it. John. Got it.
Oh, he was favoring you. Jonathan was.
I'm pulling for my contestant.
John Timberlake.
Remember Timberlake.
It's such a great
Justin
name.
Timberlake.
No kidding.
John Timberlake.
God, what a great guest. Okay. Heading into, what's the score now? Heading into the last 2 questions for Denise, and the score is?
Debbie has 4 points.
4 out of?
6.
Okay. And question number 1, Denise. Contracts with security company should provide that the company has insurance.
Absolutely.
That's
not a true
That's
or
an
false.
easy one.
Jeez,
you're not going to give her
flag.
credit.
I'm throwing the challenge flag.
Because she said absolutely. Okay. The last question is, Denise, the name of our guest's company is?
Is it Surtax?
Ooh, no.
It is Securitas. Securitas. I still think Denise won, though.
Yeah, she did. Barely. But Debbie
Barely.
is one heck of a
Great
contestant.
job, you guys. Debbie in Woodland, Denise in Diamond Springs. Just fantastic. You guys, we're going to go ahead and we're going to send you the gift cards, $100, $50. You guys, first, you, Debbie, did you enjoy our game? Did you have a good time today?
Yes, it was very, very nice, and nice to listen to all the different rules and regulations for the homeowners and the association.
Excellent.
Well,
Debbie,
fantastic.
you're a trooper. I'll email you on Monday. We'll get you all squared away with your prize. Denise, thanks so much. We hope you got some relative information regarding security. Did you have fun?
Yes, I did. Thank you so much.
All right, ladies, thanks for calling in, and y'all have a safe Saturday. You like how I threw that little southern
I
y'all
like
in
that.
there?
Yeah, I think you were thinking Diamond Springs was down south, but it
Okay,
isn't.
yeah.
We all know where Diamond Springs is, right, guys? Diamond Springs is up near Placerville.
He's shaking his head.
It's
John's
a
like, no.
you should
no.
visit there, Mr. Timberlake. It's a fantastic place. It's on the way up to the wine country and the mountain
Shenandoah
area.
Valley.
Shenandoah Valley.
There
Yeah,
you
right.
go. Nailed it.
Right. Well, John, we're happy that you're on the show today. I think our listeners got a lot out of it. We think that the information you provided today, do you have any closing thought? Have any do's or don'ts for our listeners out there as board members? I mean, they should listen to you. You're an expert when they come and meet with you, providing them the operational system analysis and go through the association.
I don't think it's expert. I think he's the godfather of security. Right? Okay, John,
Right.
so if the listeners want to get a hold of you, the godfather of security, Securitas, how can they reach you, and what information can you provide to them so that they can, maybe possibly consult with you about some of your services?
Yeah, so they can email me. It's john.timberlake@securitasinc.com. And we'd be happy to come out and take a look at your community and tell you how we can help you.
And your geographic scope is all
International.
through international, so anywhere.
We have a footprint everywhere.
You
In fact,
got a
we're the-
plane?
we're
You just fly everywhere? Or are you James Bond or what?
I have a Corvette, so I pretty much fly on the street.
Excellent. 800 number for Securitas or a numbered telephone number?
You can call my cell, 916-889-3761.
And we want to thank our head writer now. So Tim Epstein has been promoted. He's not our crack reporter. He is now our head writer. We want to thank him for his contribution to the show, and we look for great contributions from him now that we have a head writer, right? Isn't that fantastic?
The guy's digging and he's working hard. I mean, I don't want to hold anything against him because he's from Nevada, but the guy's doing a great job.
But it still pushes our show up with the addition of a head writer.
Well, it's great when you can just go, hey, Tim, I need this information, and boom, it pops up in your email.
Exactly.
Done deal. So thanks a lot. Thanks, John Timberlake, not Justin Timberlake. We were trying to kind of get the listenership up and throw a Timberlake on the show. But, John, so thanks so much for being a trooper, coming in and joining us. Anything else, Counselor, that you want to add?
I think we said it all. I think we gave some great information today. We're going to have John again on our show if he wants to come back on. Would you like to come?
Sure.
We'll put him on the spot. See, he said
Absolutely.
yes.
I think that we made the world a safer place with just 1 hour of HOA Talk Radio.
I do too. Thank you for listening.